This video contains heavy spoilers for the FNAF movie, so if you're not a big fan of that, you should most likely click off. Hello y'all! So one day, me and my sister decided to see the FNAF movie on opening day. If you don't know, FNAF stands for Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a viral horror video game sensation about evil animatronics and child model. No, I'm not making that part up. To be fair, you can't really talk about the FNAF movie unless you talk about some of its history. It was announced back in 2015, I think, and it's changed titles and directors multiple times before finally settling with Emma Tammy, who ended up directing the final product. But is the final product good? I'm not exactly sure, but either way, I didn't have a negative reaction out of this movie. It's probably objectively a bad film, but for what it is, especially as a FNAF fan, I did have a decent time with it. So what's the movie about? Well, Mike Smith, the guy from the first game, needs a job, and he gets a job at a crappy Chuck E. Cheese ripoff called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which hasn't been active since the 80s. However, this dog pizzeria isn't actually a dog pizzeria. It's actually a haunted dog pizzeria, with the full animatronics at night coming to life and looking to model him by placing him in front of an animatronic suit. And so, he must use his wits to survive 5 nights at Freddy's.
He said it! He said it!
Okay, now naturally there are several things that in order to stretch this basic concept into a 2-hour feature film. For example, Mike's little sister Abby is in his possession, and if Mike can't take care of her, her aunt is going to take Abby away from him since their parents are dead. And so, Mike ends up taking Abby to this haunted pizzeria. Well, way back in 1980, multiple children were gruesomely murdered. Seriously, Mike, what the hell are you doing? The pacing of this movie feels off. The movie's beginning feels too fast. For example, we meet Mike and Abby and that scene ends. Mike is shown at his job and that scene ends. Mike needs his career counselor, that scene ends. And he arrives at Freddy's before it feels like he should. Not to mention that the second half of the movie is also pretty fast-paced, like it wants to end as soon as possible. Multiple moments of this film feel incredibly hollow, like the big twist with Vanessa and Afton, which doesn't feel entirely natural. I'll explain it more in depth later. Not to mention that the acting isn't really great. It's pretty stilted, and sometimes they either try too hard or not hard enough. Now, let's talk about the positives of this movie. I genuinely adore the cinematography. The camera angles give off a major sense of dread and fear when you're on Freddy's itself. It's dark, ominous, horrifying, and lets you know that even if you aren't a fan of the games, you won't safe here at all. Yeah, this is a place where children were gruesomely murdered. Although, I will be honest, some shots are pretty goofy like this one. Yeah, while I was killed multiple times, I wouldn't really call this horrifying per se. The production design for Freddy's is what I imagine being inside of it would ever be like since I was a kid. And the musical score by the Noonan Blows are so goddamn terrifying it's impressive. Jim Henson and Cleats Shop, as always, killed it with the animatronics. They really did a great job at it. There are also a lot of little Easter eggs if you're a fan of the games, such as the Celebrate poster in The Office, the opening credits being an Atari game like in the minigame Floaty series, and when William said, "I always come back," I smiled a bit. Speaking of William Afton, near the end he's revealed to be Vanessa's dad and Mike's career counselor, and neither of these twists are built up very well. Not to mention that William himself has only 3 seconds of screen time in this. Okay, like, I know build-up is a thing, but even then, William is almost inconsequential to this movie's plot. Not to mention that Vanessa says that the souls of the children have been modeled aren't just in animatronics, but the bodies too. This is just completely passed aside. Like, you're not gonna show a scene of William actually killing these kids on screen? Is it too much for that PG-13 rating? Oh well, at least the animatronic suit is pretty cool. And now let's talk about the comedy aspect of this movie.
Okay.
Oh? You've left? I lost you? I mean, it's not a comedy, but it kinda is, intentional or not. For example, we see Abby befriend the animatronics, we see them all hang out and act like a bunch of kids having fun and all, which is supposed to lull Mike into a false sense of security and all, but I don't know, it's so goofy that I kinda found it lame despite it being cute. Then we see Abby and the animatronics singing and dancing about, and earlier in the film, Mike loses his job at the mall by beating down an innocent man in front of his child. This movie has several comic undertones scheduled for the film. Maybe it's just me. Oh, also, Matt Pat and Corey X. Kinson appeal in comical cameos, I guess. I don't know. I'm recording this at 10 at night. I'm really tired. I have school in the morning. Leave me be. So, in conclusion, is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie good? Nah, not really. It's probably objectively bad, but I really didn't have a bad time with it. I had a lot of fun with it as a fan of the games and the story, and for what it is, it's a passable time if you do like the games. I give it 6 cupcakes out of 10 child models possessing bunny costumes. This is a crazy Crowla flying away, and remember, I always come back. Oh, also, I didn't write this down at all, but, Mike has a little brother who William abducted and later killed. Dolly P. Bozo.